Hello everyone, I'm Silent Death and welcome back to my Let's Play Space Engineer series. There has been a patch and it's added a few things. Some of them quite useful. It's added these little button panels which can be linked to the things you could drag to your hotbar basically, so that you can just do that from wherever without having to actually be in a cockpit. Quite useful, basically configurable buttons. I hope they eventually increase the number of buttons. 4 is not very many. Unfortunately, well actually let's talk about the other thing first. They've also added it so that via antennas you can link to other stuff. So if we were to undock this, okay, we can access it from anywhere that the antenna can link to it. That's going to be quite useful for, or well, combined with the gyroscope override that they added in the last update. We can basically control satellites from our station, our ship, or whatever. Very, very useful. Unfortunately, you cannot combine the buttons with the antenna thing. You can't link a button that will hook to another ship. I imagine they'll put that in eventually. That seems like a rather obvious extension of what they added. But it's just not in yet. It would be nice to basically have a big control room that you could control your entire mass of buildings and ships and everything as a kind of overlord type thing. They've added some modding stuff, including some transparency mods, or some more stuff with the transparency. I expect we'll see some interesting stuff with that in the near future. Today we are in creative mode, and since we're in a different world, I've took the liberty of changing the background, since we can have different backgrounds for different worlds now with the last patch. I thought that would be a little bit interesting. There are a lot of good skyboxes out there. I just picked this one. It caught my eye. But today I want to focus on a particular subsystem and not try to build a whole ship. We're just going to focus on just one little subsystem of that and try to perfect it. And that is escape pods. Both escape pods and lifeboats. Lifeboat being essentially an escape pod that you can maneuver. The simplest form of escape pod is just a passenger seat that's been ejected out from your ship. Even though it doesn't have any power or a console, you won't lose power once you've sit in the seat, even if you're in survival mode, which you're not. That applies to all types of cockpits. Even without power, if you get in a cockpit, you will not drain energy. So that would be the very, very basic type of escape pod. As far as escape pods go, what we want to have is something that is, first off, of course, cheap. The cheaper the better. Small is also something we want. We want something that we can fit into existing ships with little rearranging. I want escape pods for some future stuff that I'm planning on doing. Also, I think it would be nice if, for instance, cargo ships started launching escape pods if you did a whole lot of damage to them. That would kind of explain why there's nobody on board when you boarded it. And then you could go around and destroy the escape pods, so they could just like fly off the map like the normal cargo ships. That would be one thing that we could do with escape pods. They also might be useful for multiplayer. If your ship gets damaged and you want to get out. Another challenge we have with escape pods is exactly how to fit them into the ship. and get them out of the ship. If we just leave like a big hole in the ship, that's going to attract fire and make the ship more vulnerable. The same if we put blast doors or anything over it. Assuming we're going to need the escape pod, it probably means the ship's not operational. So we can't have anything that moves or relies on the ship having power. And if we leave a hole in the hull, fire will get in. Enemy fire will get in. Since the escape pod is probably going to be near where the player is going to be. It's going to be near vital areas such as the bridge or engineering or things like that. Weapons. So the first thing we need to do is come up with a way to get the escape pod out of the ship without weakening the overall hull of the ship. The easiest way to do that is just to blast our way through it. So let's see exactly how hard that is with light armor. Alright, so that would work for light armor, assuming we had a relatively small escape pod. For heavy armor, it's probably going to be a different story, but let's focus on the light armor and cargo ship, or I'll say civilian version of the escape pods first. We have two different drive systems we could use, a thruster on override, or gravity drive. Given the cost, let's see, is this an assembler? The cost for a gravity generator is not cheap, and the cost for a single thruster, small thruster, is going to be far, far cheaper, even counting that it's going to be using a little bit of platinum. Also, we would have the cost of a mass block if we used a gravity generator, which is also not very cheap. So unless we're planning on having many escape pods, we'll probably stick to using thrusters stuck on override for the launch system. Let us go ahead and build a very basic escape pod, which will kind of launch out through here. We'll just come out. Let's say, actually, well, we need something to build it off of. We'll do that. Then we'll attach our seat. Can you... yeah, this is how I want you to go. Then we'll detach this block. We'll want a battery to power it. Probably should have done that, but let's just clear this all up. Might want that, battery. Where are you? There you are. Ooh, that's rather large. And do they start charged in creative mode? I don't see an access panel. Recharge, and we won't put that on semi-auto. Charge for me. Yes. How long does this take to charge? We'll just stick in a couple of things. I'm using a battery even though it's generally more expensive than a reactor. Simply for immersion. How long do you take charge? Max output, max input, current input, so you can have 2 of those. Two hours? Really? Oh, you can have way more input. Alright. Might should copy this. Alright, that's better. Then we'll stick on, say, a few thrusters. And now comes the hard part. Well, actually, we'll come back to that part. Guess we can get rid of this. Okay, that's still a little bit. But still 3 by 3. So we can go out 1 block on either side, which I think we'll do as kind of guides. Now that's going to make it hard to get in, so maybe we'll do that. And we'll put one of these right here. That'll be the launch key. Then coming off of this, we'll just have our explosives. Ah, come on. Okay, that's correct, I think. Let me let this charge and I will be right back. Okay, let's hop in and see if this actually works. We cannot access this, can we? That is a problem. Can we access anything? On. And I think we would have probably died. Let's see. I've lost that. I'm pretty sure we would have died if that would have been creative, so maybe longer? On the thingamajigers, and I think we also need to put in a gyroscope and rethink the launch system. So let me fix that and I'll be right back. Here we go again, this time in survival so that we'll know if we died. Added a gyroscope. Move the explosives out a little bit. Add a tiny bit of a blast shield. And alright, so we make it through. Perfectly okay. Of course, now we have no control over our ship, and we're just hurling out at maximum speed. It also looked like we may need either more thrusters or a larger running start. Probably more thrusters would be the best thing. But that will probably suffice for a cargo ship launch thing. Oh crap, I have no way to get back. We are just flying, aren't we? go. The next step is to try this with heavy armor, which is going to be significantly more difficult. But let me replace what we've built so far with some heavy armor and just see how it works. Here we are with some straight up heavy armor. And that did not work. Let's try maybe doubling the amount. Well, that really did not work at all though, did it? Okay, we'll try doubling the amount and then see what happens. If that doesn't work, we'll try something else. Okay. And just nothing. Not even really dented. That one has 1 damage. Okay, so that's not going to work. What if we try using these blocks instead? So well, not that many. There. There. At least they're weaker. And I don't think you can tell the difference from the outside, really. Not unless you get really, really close. Close enough to take out a line. Which really, that could be anything. So we'll try that. So I think I already had one copied. Make sure we get lined up properly. Not sure if it is. Doesn't really look like it, does it? Okay. We will. Give us something to help line it up. Right there. And we'll give it another row of explosives because I really doubt one would work. And then we'll send it off. Well, actually, let's copy that. That right there, and we'll save the game so that we can just reload it instead of doing all this fiddling. Oh, better. 3 maybe then? Let's try that. Now with 3. I think we might be able to fit through that. We'll give it a shot. Okay, here we go again. This time with the full setup. We're using 9 thrusters this time. Doesn't quite work. Not quite. It does break through. But it's just not a big enough hole. What could we do to fix that? The only other thing I can think is to maybe have... Well, I don't think that would work. Maybe it would. Let's see. I'll be right back. So obviously we need a wider gap. So if we do something like removing a bit more, I think it hit somewhere right around in there. Well, let's go one lower. Fine. How do we have that? There we are. There. We'll have those. Do the reverse here. And then right here, we'll have that and that. Seal this back up. And we'll have some blocks here, but instead of having them connected normally, have this. That way they can technically push the blocks out of the way. They just have to break this link here, or one of these links. Let me save and we'll try that. Okay, here goes nothing. And the blocks aren't moving now. They should move. Why did the blocks not move? Not actually connected anymore. At least not by any real standard. Oops. Okay. See if we can set that off. Oh, we don't have a gun. Right, we don't get a gun. Well, crap. Maybe if I can just throw something at it. That didn't work. And even that did not break through. Wow, those were a lot stronger than I thought. Okay, maybe we'll just have to go straight up with... Whoa, it... Really? What happened there? Holy crap, did that just like blow through the gap and then just kill everything? Look at what it did to the asteroid. I do believe we found a bug. Holy crap. It just like ate the freaking asteroid. Oh my goodness. Well, I think we've just discovered a super weapon. We're going to have to explore this in a future episode, but holy crap. I have no idea what happened. How could that possibly have done that? Huh. It didn't damage the wall, but somehow... That's fascinating. I think we're going to have to end up with just going with these, though. It's going to be a vulnerability, but I don't see another option. We can blow through that. Maybe if we disguise them really, really well, it won't seem so obvious. If we only do one of them, it would be kind of hard to hit a single block if just kind of stuck in the middle of the armor. Wow. We'll try something again. I'm going to have to reload a save, and I'll be right back. Alright, we'll try this with the catwalks. And then probably call it an episode. I've tried the super weapon thing a couple more times and it just worked the same way. I'm not exactly sure what causes it. I may explore that more in a future episode. Probably will explore that more in a future episode. Okay, we made it through. So that is how we have to get through. Let's get out of here. Bye, escape pod. I don't think we have time to really get to lifeboats this episode, so we'll just stick to escape pods. Lifeboats would not be significantly more difficult, but we will be using them probably in another episode. But let's see the super weapon again. Alright, we have just one more warhead. And then we'll just push this into it. And it did not detonate. Okay. Guess we'll have to push it a little bit better than that then. Come on, what is your problem? Detonated before. Let's try switching the explosive thing to a different angle. Might just not be going fast enough. Let's get going good and fast. And lag, and there goes the whole freaking asteroid. Okay, that's kind of awesome. That would really surprise somebody. They got close to just, you know, your side of your armor, and then boom, their ship is gone, along with their asteroid. That's going to be it for this episode. Like if you like, subscribe if you're not, leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.